Goldylocks Productions broadcasts universal cosmic frequencies that unlock, awaken, and expand the consciousness of our worldwide viewers and listeners.
Goldylocks Productions presents the Inspiration from Spirit show with your host, Rev.Lea Chapin. The focus and goal for this show is to assist humanity in the awakening of a new level of consciousness that will bring peace to planet Earth.
Welcome. Hi, this is Lea Chapin. I'm so excited to be here. This is my resurrection of Inspiration from Spirit. I had a radio show previously for 8 years called Inspiration from Spirit on another network, and I want to thank Tiffany White and Laura Romano, the show host of Angels Healing Light Show, for helping to inspire me to do another radio show. 2 weeks ago, I was not thinking about doing a radio show, and here I am doing another, I keep calling it a radio show, but it's live stream, so excuse me. So here I am doing another show here with Tiffany at Goldylocks Productions. So I'm so grateful to her, so grateful to Laura, and grateful to all of the listeners that are going to join in today. So this is really a resurrection and a rebirth. And as many of you know, that this is a major time of moving into the ascension process. And my show really is about helping people awaken and to evolve to their true spirit essence. I've been a divine oracle for over 27 years. I've been a psychotherapist for 40 years. I hate to say that, but for 40 years, I've done psychotherapy work. And then about 27 years ago, I was gifted with the grace of becoming a divine oracle for spirit. And so since that time, I've devoted my life to helping other people evolve with their own spiritual essence, their own soul growth. And I've combined my psychotherapy skills, education, and training with my ability to hear spirit to help people access information that they may not have information to in terms of their own life challenges. Then I bring that information in through the Ascended Masters, the Angelic realm, through many of the galactic beings of light. So I'm considered a versatile channel, a versatile oracle. And so I've been doing that work, as I've said, for 27 years and had many platforms in the sense of being able to have a radio show in the past for 8 years. I've also authored 2 books. My first book I authored in the year of 2003 is called The 12 Master Teachings of Christ. These are the true essence of Christ's teachings. I also work with people with this book privately, as well as I teach a monthly class. My next class is May 19th. And it will be at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So if you wanted to join and become a part of that teachings and learn more about the Christ teachings, email me at leachapin@gmail.com or go to my website, leachapin.com, and you'll see those classes. And then a few years ago, approximately 3 years ago, I can't believe it's 3 years, I channeled this book, The Divine Union, The Love Story of Jesus and Mary Magdalene. And it's about their love story and how they became friends as young children, and then they married, and Mary Magdalene helped Joshua through the crucifixion, and how he did survive the crucifixion and continued on with Mary Magdalene to have their own family and continued to hold the energy for all of us as we are moving through these changing times. They are holding the energy of the divine feminine and the divine masculine energy. They held that blueprint for us 2,000 years ago during this evolutionary time. So this book is really a part of what my ministry is about, as I've done this work now, I've said, for 27 years. But this is about returning to sacred balance and to sacred union. It's about us returning into partnership with ourselves, returning to the energy of oneness, and moving forth into our own ascension process. So today, this is what I'd like to share, because I know many of you are concerned about what's happening globally. And this show really is a new spiritual perspective about what's happening with current events. I will be channeling information from the Ascended Masters and the Angelic realm. Today, I'll be bringing a message in from Joshua and Mary Magdalene about what is happening with the ascension process and the current events of the coronavirus. I know many of you are having some fear about that, and I'm here to help bring calm to you and to bring a level of peace and understanding that really what is happening is a divine order and of sacred purpose. So I want to share with you a little bit of meditation first before we get started, so that we can kind of move into that Zen zone. We can open our hearts and be in that place of peace. So here we go. I have a beautiful meditation from the energy of the Divine Mother. I call upon the energy of Divine Mother with her generosity, support, divine grace, and abundant love. Bless us, bless us, bless us, as we all receive your beautiful energy into our beings, into our true nature, into the divine light of who we truly are. Today, as we begin to release old programs, beliefs, energetic imprints, and karmic patterning, may we keep ourselves fully in receptive mode as we receive the energy of divine healing and divine holy grace. May we surrender into the loving cradle of light of the Divine Mother as she brings us comfort into our hearts, into our minds, allowing a deep state of gratitude into every cell, every fiber, every pore of our being that allows us to receive her divine grace. And so we ask you at this time to take a deep, deep, deep inhaling breath and begin to breathe in the inflow of the essence of the Divine Mother. And with each breath, release any fear that you might be having. So once again, take a deep inhaling breath, breathing in the inflow of divine grace of Divine Mother, and releasing through your breath the energy of divine holy grace as well. Allowing your awareness to move slowly into your heart as you begin to feel the warmth of the Holy Mother, beginning to feel the warmth of the energy of the Divine Mother as she comes to cradle you in her comfort and to bring you peace. And so we ask you to relax into this frequency, beginning to feel through your breath this connection to the light that you are, to feel the connection to the love that you are, to feel the connection to the peace that you are. And as you become aware of the golden light all around you, allow yourself to feel this energy of being surrounded by the angels and Mother Gaia, and wrapping yourself in the arms of the Divine Mother, feeling her strength, feeling her love, feeling her mercy. For as you let go and allow the golden light of the Divine Mother to enter your heart, may it bring you peace and healing, allowing all to be released, all fear to be diminished. And so as you take another deep breath, please allow yourself to stay in this space of grace, allowing yourself to feel the tranquility of your own soul. In this we thank thee, and so it is. So part of the work that I've done for the last 27 years, as I've said, I've been a divine oracle for spirit. I first began working with the energy of my original spirit guide named Grand, and then I started working with the archangels, and then I miraculously started working with the Holy Family. I was a bit surprised that the Holy Family was coming to me. This was in the year of 1997, because at that time I was not religious. I was deeply spiritual. I was a metaphysical student and a metaphysical seeker of light, but I was not connected to any church, and so I wasn't Catholic. And so for some reason I thought, oh, I had to be Catholic to be able to connect to the Holy Family. And then I come to realize that they had come to me because in my book, Divine Union, the love story of Jesus and Mary Magdalene, I lived in that lifetime, and I worked with Mother Mary. I was her niece. I was Jesus's cousin, and I helped Jesus at that time during his crucifixion and his ministry. And so now as I come back into this incarnation, understanding my own soul and beginning to be aware of who I am, I had to reconcile a lot of my fears about my own empowerment. And so what I want to do with this show is to help each of you to move into that strength of empowerment within yourself so that you can really begin to understand who you are, begin to tap into your spirit, begin to tap into your soul, begin to move into this ascension process with grace and ease so that you are able to empower yourself, begin to use your spiritual gifts as you were designed and created to use them in this lifetime, because this is the time now that we are moving into this powerful age of enlightenment. And particularly during this time where we are hunkered down with this coronavirus, the guidance that I received is that this is a time for us to move into our soul. This is a time for truly for us to begin to do the work that we've been called to do. We've been asked to do it for many years. I've been doing this work in this lifetime for 27 years, but we're asking to rebirth ourselves. We're being asked to, in a sense, to be reborn again and to call in the soul fragments or the soul essence of our being so that we can begin to bring the greatest gifts that we were called to do. So there was a book that I first read back in the 90s that was called Many Are Called, Few Are Chosen by Heather Ann Harder. And when I read that book, it helped me to understand why I was here as a soul. And it helped me to understand that we all came from other star systems, other galaxies, other planets, eons and eons ago to help assist Mother Gaia through her ascension process. We chose to forget our oneness. We moved away from the true essence of our true spirit, and we came into human bodies time and time again, and we lived the energy of our soul incarnations through all the experiences, good, bad, right, or wrong. We had many, many incarnations so that we could return to the oneness to remember. So those of you who are listening to this show today are a part of what I call the Great Conclave. You're a part of those light workers from other planetary systems that chose to come to this planet to serve. And so we all know that life can be difficult, that it can be confusing, and particularly during these troubled times where we're being forced to turn within, to be quiet, to be separated from other people. This is a time of resetting and turning within and really understanding and empowering ourselves that we are much more powerful than we believe ourselves to be, and we don't have to engage in the fear or in the separation that many of us are feeling, because that's what happened to us when we left our home planets, when we left our connection to oneness with the great I am, and we came into our human bodies. And so Spirit or Christ has told me through my channeling work that this virus, this fear, really is a reminder in many ways of the energy of the collective consciousness sphere that humanity has held within their conscious from the beginning of time and separation, when we moved away from that oneness and decided to come to planet Earth. And you may say this is counterintuitive, and perhaps it is, but it's for us, once again, to not buy into that fear, to begin to empower ourselves to understand that we are powerful, and that this time is moving in to the energy of our soul, into the true magnificence of who we are, to the true power of who we are. We've lived many lifetimes, we've done many things, and we're being called now to step forward, be powerful, be courageous, and use the wisdom from our own soul. So in a few moments, I'm going to give a message from Christ, and then I'll take any comments that you might have. But it's important to understand that there are many layers within you that want to be expressed. And so, as I've said, I'm revisiting again being on a show. So for 8 years, I did a radio show on another network, and now here I'm doing live streaming in this 5 years later, not thinking this was going to happen. But during this quote quarantine, or in this particular time, I've been feeling it for some time, but particularly in the last 6 weeks, since I've been hunkered down here, as everyone else has, the calling of my soul is to teach, to teach, to teach. And I've been teaching for many, many, many years in many forms. Like I said, I teach a weekly Mary Magdalene call. I've been doing that for 15 years. It's on a teleconference call. I teach private classes. I have my books. I had my radio show. So I've had many formats. But again, my soul was calling me to teach, teach, teach. And I'm like, well, what am I going to do? And so 3 things popped up. One was I was to give daily meditations every day for 30 days to help people to alleviate their fear, to begin to reprogram their autonomic nervous system, and to reprogram their brain to be able to return to peace, to return to oneness. And so I think I'm on the 26th day of those daily meditations that I'm doing. So I was called to do that. And so it's helping me to reset myself and to be at peace. And the feedback that I've gotten from other people, that has been very, very helpful for them as well. Then I was called to teach an intuitive development class, which I started last Wednesday. And then I have 2 different classes, one at 2 p.m. Central Time USA and one at 6 p.m. Central Time USA. And the reason I was called to do the intuitive development class was because, as I've said, our soul is calling us to awaken to our spiritual abilities, to our divine essence. And the reason was that during this time of being reset or being calm, our soul is calling us again to awaken to our intuitive abilities, our psychic abilities, and our soul purpose. So I wanted to be able to help people to move away from their fears, their emotional blockages, and some imprints or belief systems they have about who they are, and be able to help them to tap into their soul and begin to access those spiritual gifts for themselves so they can do the work they've come to do. So that my first class was last week. If there's interest, I will start another class because, again, my mission is to help empower people, awaken people, and that's really what this show is about. And then the third thing was this radio production, which just happened organically. I was invited to be on Laura Romano's show, the Angels Healing and Light show, just thinking I'm going to do a radio show. I have done many radio shows, been interviewed, and thought, okay, I'll just talk about my work. And then when I spoke to Tiffany, the producer, just organically, she said, teaching, this is a teaching format. And because my soul had been calling me to teach, I found myself sort of just blabbing like, oh, do you have a room for another host? And it was like, I wasn't thinking that. That was not what I was thinking about. That was my soul. This was my spirit calling me to do this. And so before the end of the radio show, of Laura's radio show, I essentially had agreed to do another production here, another live stream show. I keep saying radio show, forgive me. Old school, back from the days of my other program. But anyhow, I'd agreed to do this to my surprise. And what I want to say is that if you're feeling this stirring within you, if you're feeling this calling within you, that you are being called to do something, please, please don't let your fear prohibit you from doing this. And this morning, when I did my Mary Magdalene teachings, Christ and Mary Magdalene spoke about this is a time of not letting your limitations or anything that's happening in the world, even this lockdown, begin to think outside of the box, begin to tap into your own innate wisdom and be able to share with the world the gifts that you're bringing. So this is really, really a time for us to step up, do the work that we've called to do, and as Cryon, who I've often channeled through the years, says, be the change you wish to see. So allow yourself now to be the change that you wish to see and not be afraid. So every week I'm going to bring a channeled message through. I'm going to take your questions. And then I just want to share I love books, and I love to bring information in about what other people's perspectives are. What I'm not going to do in this show is I'm not going to take live psychic readings. This is not about doing readings for other people. If you have questions or if you have comments about what I'm bringing forth, I'll be glad to answer and channel any information that pertains to the topic that I'm bringing forth for the day. But I'm not going to do private readings. So if you have any interest in getting a private reading through me, just contact me at Lea Chapin through my website, leachapin.com, or you can email me at leachapin@gmail.com. So I'll be glad to take care of you in any way. But this is my teaching format. So like I said, when Tiffany said teaching, it was like, oh, there my soul jumped out and said, wow, got to do this. And when I got off the phone with her, I was totally shocked that I had said yes. But I just want to encourage you to say yes, do what you feel called to do, and stand in your power. Be brave, regardless of if it sounds crazy, if you've never done it before. Just do it anyway, and you'll be good at whatever you're going to do. So I wanted to share a little bit from this book, and then I'm going to do my message. Then, like I said, I'm going to take your questions. As many of you probably know, the planet is in a state of ascension. Its frequency is rising at a very rapid rate, and it's losing density. Matter, as you know it, is in the third dimension. We are in the third dimension. That dense energy is now being released, and the vibratory rate of each and every one of us is moving at a very accelerated rate. When we have the energy of our own vibrational frequency raising and holding the energy of the planet, then we will be ascending and moving forward into the ascension with planet Earth. At the time of this writing, which was many years ago, I believe it was 1995, that was a long time ago, Um, this author said that there were 7 to 8 million light workers. I'm sure there's many, 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 many more light workers now. This book is called What is Light Body by Archangel Ariel, channeled by, I don't say her name right, it's Tashira, Tachi-REN. But at that time, there were 7 to 8 million light workers that were now assisting in the planet's ascension. And as Spirit has told us that we as a planet are moving in this ascension process, we as the light workers have helped other planets, other star systems to also ascend in consciousness. So again, this is not our first rodeo. So for you, the light workers who are listening and thinking that this is a difficult process and what am I supposed to be doing, you've done this before. Remember to listen to your soul. Remember to listen to your spirit. Remember to listen to the essence of that still, quiet voice from within. Take the time to meditate. Take the time to go into quiet contemplation and reflection, and you'll be able to tap in to what it is that you need to be doing. So we've done this before. So the planet, as we've said, is in a state of transition of light or a process of ascension. It's a gradual process. It is not something that is taking place over 1 year, 1 month, 1 week, or 1 day. So there are many, many levels of ascension. We happen to be in the third dimensional frequency, which is matter, where we feel our physical body. We feel our physical body, our flesh and blood. We're in the third dimension, where things are heavier for us, and oftentimes we feel like we are walking through quicksand and that we're blocked or things can't happen. But again, that's why we're raising our frequency so that we can move forward with grace and ease. I always ask people to call in the energy of grace, Elohim grace, to be able to call in that vibration, because it's the frequency of God. It's the frequency of the divine feminine energy that will help us, just as we called in that prayer to the Divine Mother, to help us to move forward, to ascend, to release all that no longer serves us, so we can raise our frequency and raise our vibration. The fourth dimension is what's called the Astral Plane. It's basically emotionally based. Together, the third dimension and the fourth dimension are part of what we call the lower creation world. These are the dimensions in the illusion of what we think are good and evil, right and wrong. And yet we are here in that level of separation. When we, as we say, fell from grace, or let's say when we left our home planet and came to the earth and forgot our oneness, perhaps that's a better way of saying it, we moved into that third dimensional frequency, and then that fourth dimensional frequency where we're holding our emotions, where we hold the fear, where that energy of the collective consciousness, as we spoke of, where I spoke of before, where the collective consciousness of fear is really held within our DNA, held within the cellular memory of us. And so this is a time of rising above that and moving now into these higher frequencies, because the planet is now vibrating in the level of what we call the lower creation. We feel trapped. We feel that there's all that is. But now, as we're moving forward into the fifth dimension and into the higher frequencies, we're moving into the mid-creation realm. The fifth is the light body dimension, in which we are aware of ourselves as masters. Just like I said before, call in your spirit, call in your energy, and begin to tap into the frequency of the light that you are. We are masters. We are here to remember. We are masters. So the fifth is the light body dimension, in which you become aware of yourself as a master and a multidimensional being. In the fifth dimension, you're completely spiritually oriented. Many of you have come from this plane of existence and have chosen to come back into the third dimensional frequency again, to replay it, to relearn it, to help uplift your fellow brother and sisters. And then we have the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th dimensions. And I'm not going to go into all of those because I want to go ahead and bring the message of Christ. But this is a book, like I said, it was published in 1995, What is Light Body? It's actually a lovely, lovely book. Will help you to understand about ascension. So I wish to go ahead and take any questions shortly, but again, we're going to move into that message from our beloved Christ about our soul and the ascension process. I like to keep my eyes closed for focus purposes. Greetings, dear sons and daughters of the light. Yes, it is I, Christ. I come to you on this most auspicious day. I say thank you, dearest children of the light, for holding the place of love within your heart, for all the world to see and all the world to know. Yes, dear children of light, you have come here as you were part of the great conclave. Indeed, I spoke at the great conclave. I was known as Lord Sananda. I spoke to you about your willingness and your eagerness to come to serve Mother Gaia, to help her through her ascension process. And yet many of you had never been onto the planet of Earth, and many of you had never been separated from your home planets, the star galaxies and systems that you had originated from. For you see, you were all starseeds. I remember the day quite well, as if it was like yesterday, and each of you were eager to come to this planet. Each of you were so eager to come to this planet that you were pushing forward as if you said, call me, call me, call me, as you raised your hand to be an Earth volunteer. And so, dear one, at that time, when I finished what I had spoken of, and I'd finished speaking about the clarion call to invite all of you, there was a deafening in the auditorium. And each of you left one by one by one. And you made your agreement to come to the earth plane. Through a millennia of time, forgetting your oneness, and returning to what you may call a state of separation from the God essence, from your oneness. This was very brave of all of you. This was indeed very brave of all of you, to forget your oneness, to leave your family of light, and to volunteer to assist this planet to return to love. For you see, Mother Gaia, Mother Earth, is the planet of love. And you had chosen to help assist her in what you call this experiment. And then as you came to this planet, fear began to beseech you, and there was fear. As you felt alone and separated and abandoned, and as the fear began to set into each of you, was held within your collective consciousness, within your own DNA, within the energy of your own etheric matrix. You came without physical bodies at that time, and yet then you came into the body form, into the human condition. And through time, the density of matter began to be held within the essence of your being. And it has been entrenched within you. This period of time of 2020, as many of you have known, was going to be and is a pivotal year of clarity, i.e. 2020. Correct vision. Even though many of you may feel that this is, quote, end times and the worst of times and a punishment or whatever else you may feel, this is all in divine order. This is a time of allowing humanity, all creation, and Mother Earth to rejuvenate themselves, to reset themselves, so this planet and all of creation can return to peace, and all can return to sovereignty and be sovereign over their own energy field, and be able to live in the joy and the remembrance of who they truly are as a beautiful soul in spirit. And you say, how can this be when I am afraid? And we ask you, once again, to take the in-breath and release the fear and move into your heart and return to love. Release your breath, return to fear, return to love and release fear. It is through the breath, which is the connection to God, which is in the innate wisdom that you hold, that you are tapped into this remembrance. So you're not afraid, you're not alone, you do not feel separate. And so this is why I come to this format. This is why I come today, to help each of you to become empowered so that you can stand in the truth of your divine spirit and return to the strength and the love of who you truly are. This is the reason my Mary and I have come. It is the reason why we have brought forth the book Divine Union, the love story of Jesus and Mary Magdalene, because we held the template, we held the energy frequency for all of you to return to balance, to hold the sacred mother energy, to hold the sacred father energy, to return this energy of oneness to the energy of the God essence within you. It is why we have brought this book forward. It's why we come through these teachings. We are not here, as they say, to save you, but we are here to empower you. We are here to bring you back into balance so that you can stand in the strength of your spirit, for each of you have come forward on this earth plane with sacred purpose, a sacred mission. Just as Mary and I's mission was to help to hold the space of love for all of you so that you could return and be empowered within yourself. And so I say to you, dearest children of the light, stand tall, stand proud, and be not afraid. Be the change you wish to see. Be the light of the world. Because light, you were created, and light you shall remain, and love you were created, and love you shall remain. Be at peace, be at peace, be at peace, and truly know that you are loved. Loved beyond measure, loved beyond comprehension. Go in peace, my children, go in peace, go in peace, go in peace. As we stand with you, my Mary and I, and all the ascended beings of light are standing with each of you as you hold this divine grace of the divine sacred balance of your own I am presence. Go in peace. In this we thank thee. And once again, this is the book Divine Union, the love story of Jesus and Mary Magdalene, both in paperback and an audiobook, available on my website, leachapin.com. I would love to take any questions or comments that anybody might have about the ascension process, about the channeled message. So I welcome all of you who are listening. So thank you again, all of the listeners who have joined me today. This is my debut. I'm thrilled to be here. I'm really thrilled to have this platform. So I'm hoping that all can access the comments so that I can bring forth the wisdom. So once again, as you tune in to this program each week, it's going to be on Mondays at 1 p.m. Central Time. And I've devoted my life to these spiritual teachings and these wisdom teachings. So know at this time that as each of you are contemplating and asking a question, don't be afraid. Put your comment, put your questions. I welcome them because I really want to be able to help people to empower themselves and to be able to move forward into this ascension process. These are difficult times, and I know that many people, again, are might be a little bit hesitant about this format, but just bring your questions, bring your comments, and know that this avenue of being able to share your wisdom is welcome. And I thank you again for being willing to be here with us. The importance of these times, as we know it, is to simply be present within ourselves. And I know many people have difficulty holding that space of peace within themselves. Having a meditative practice is really, really important. And so it's time to turn within, as we said, reset yourself and be able to turn within. We do have a listener, Joan. Hi, Joan. She said, is the ascension process going to be done in stages? Let me bring Christ's message in because I don't have the answer to that. So, greetings, dear daughter of light. Yes, the ascension process has taken place over many, many decades of time. To many surprise, this ascension process began in the early 50s, and yet this rampant rate of energy that is taking place now with time speeding up and what we call the urgency of this ascension process for the awakening process for others is indeed essential. So know that many of you that have been born at this time and prior to the 50s, and yes, after the 50s as well, have been a part of this ascension process, and the energy has been affecting or changing your DNA from what we call the year of 1957. Those who are born now, the new children, and many of what we call the indigo children, and the crystalline children, and the rainbow children, were born with a higher frequency of ascension. Many of them are coming in with their awakening and the true essence of who they are. Others who were born in the early stages of the ascension had difficulty in some ways at reawakening, taking a longer period of time. But now, to answer your question, the ascension process is happening at a very rapid rate. That is why many, many people are awakening, and many people are moving through stages of what we call ascension symptoms, where they're perhaps feeling lightheaded, they're feeling dizzy, they're feeling fatigued. They might have symptoms of flu, they might have symptoms of a cold, they might have symptoms of fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue, Epstein-Barr. Many of these symptoms or these conditions are mimicking ascension symptoms. And I hope that has answered your question, Joan. I appreciate your comment. Which is interesting about the ascension symptoms. Many of us feel like we're sick at times. We might be feeling like we're ill or having a cold, or again, we have this virus that's going on now. But many of us might have stages of, I've had dizziness before, I had a level of chronic fatigue for a long time that I wasn't diagnosed with necessarily, but this was a part of, I believe, an energy shift of me clearing away the density in my body. At this moment, I'm 64 and I feel like I have a lot of energy. I feel very healthy. I feel strong. I feel vibrant. And so as our light bodies begin to ascend and shift, then we have more vibrancy within us. We'll have more energy. A couple of people told me that they felt that I looked more radiant. And so you'll begin to see light, more light radiating from one's face and beginning to feel the what we call just a sense of lightness within you. Your eyes may become brighter. And again, you may be shedding the old energy of any residual energy that's of fear or old energy that's been in your DNA. So I have another question. Belinda says, is physical pain part of an ascension? My head is splitting. And so just as we were talking about the ascension process, this energy is moving through your physical body. So like we were talking about in this book, Light Body, where the physical body, we have the dense form. Any emotions that are trapped in our emotional pain body or in our etheric field, this energy is transmuting. So the physical pain that you're having, just ask that it be transmuted with grace and ease. Remember to call in grace Elohim. Elohim grace is an energy of divine holy grace, the energy of the sacred mother energy that will help you to transmute this frequency and be able to shift into an energy of love and peace. So any physical pain, be in gratitude, know and understand that the physical body is just trying to transmute it. Call in, if you wish to call in Jeshua, Mary Magdalene, Mother Mary, Saint Michael, Metatron, whoever, your own personal guides, teachers, Mother Gaia herself. Release the energy with love and then call in the energy of Mother Gaia up to the soles of your feet and then connect this energy into your heart and then just ask this energy to be transmuted. So I hope that helps. We have another question from Royanne. She says, thank you, Lee, for all your healing and love you have shared to all of us. The world is blessed. Thank you, Royanne. Royanne's been receiving my daily meditations that I started 26 days ago. And that was to help people to be calm and to be peaceful. Royanne, if you can respond to that, are the daily meditations helping you to reset and be calm? Hopefully I can get that feedback, or if anyone else has been receiving my daily meditations that want to make a comment, I would love to be able to get your feedback about how that's helping you. It's been helping me to be able to remain centered, and because I've always been somewhat of an anxious person, in some level I was anxious about, again, doing the show again, but once I start, in the process of it, my fears get calm. But my goal in this lifetime is to be at peace and to be centered. Linda tells us, she says, can Christ speak about the lesson of truth? There is so much misinformation and confusion right now. Linda, I think you're talking about my lesson from the Christ Mastery Teachings. I think that's what you're referring to. Is that what you're referring to, Linda? I think that's what she's referring to. We last month, or this is May, April, I taught the lesson of the Christ Mastery Teachings and brought them forward to the world. But sorry, I need my glasses, people. Yeah, she said yes. Then I shall bring some of this information in from that chapter. Dearest children, it is I, Christ. I bring forth lesson 3, the lesson of truth. I ask you to understand that all of my truth teachings are embodied with love. As a messenger of God's word, it was the energy of truth that resonated within my own soul and my mission as I spoke the truth as I knew it. My desire was to awaken all souls to the truth of their own divinity. Today, as the living Christ, I'm committed to seeking truth for the betterment of mankind. The essence of the lesson of truth is here to remind you to not underestimate the power of God within you. Within every cell, every fiber, every pore of your being, you hold all God's principles within. You hold the principle of divine love and the principle of power, as well as the other principles. These teachings are called truth teachings, for they are principles brought to you. For I wish for you to understand the truth that you are, and the essence of the truth is your birthright. Truth is the highest teaching, the highest oneness, the highest awareness. Of all these teachings, it is truth that shall prevail within you as your birthright. Truth is what resonates within your very core. Therefore, when you hear truth, you know it. There is no explanation, as there's only knowingness, there's only oneness. This is the gift that God has given each of you to use discernment as a compass for you to discern the decisions you need to make here on planet Earth. This lesson of truth is brought to you in the energy of your own knowingness and in your own oneness. I'm not going to read the whole chapter, but what his point was is, as Linda said, there's so much misinformation and confusion right now. The key is to turn within and begin to listen to your own truth, to begin to listen to that still, quiet voice within, to begin to use your own discernment, to tap in. And this is what I like to do, is have people just hold their heart, take a deep breath, get calm, get centered, and then begin to ask any question that you might want to ask. Is this information that is being brought to me in divine alignment to my own truth? And you may begin to hear yes or no, or maybe, or you may begin to feel a warmth. You may begin to feel a sense of knowingness. You may begin to be tapping into your own claircognizance of your own knowingness. You may begin to feel, as I said, a sense of warmth, your own clairsentience. So your own psychic abilities are there. Your clairaudience, your clairvoyance, your claircognizance, your clairsentience. These are all gifts, your psychic abilities, for you to learn to tap into, which is what I'm teaching on my Wednesday class, so that you can begin to discern truth. When you hear truth, then you know it. So Linda, I would simply ask you again to listen to the energy of your own truth. I know you're deeply, deeply, deeply connected to your own innate wisdom. Everybody's wisdom, everybody's truth is different. How can you say there be one truth is different than another? The energy is all the same. Your truth is your truth. That which brings you comfort, that brings you peace, that brings you a sense of understanding like, yes, I know this is truth. Just as I was told, as I spoke earlier in the session, that this virus was really about the collective energy of fear that's being brought forth in the collective consciousness. That may sound bizarre, but I knew that that was truth. That was truth for me. So that the fear was for all of us to have the choice and the awareness to stand in peace, love, and our own truth, not to engage in the fear. We're trying to clear the fear. We're trying to hold the energy of peace for this planet. If you want to change something, we have to get rid of the old, make way for the new. This evolution, this age of enlightenment, this new ascension process is really about us getting rid of the old, getting rid of the old energy, the lower vibrations of fear, confusion, and being able to stand in the higher principles of love, peace, joy, tranquility, and living from that state regardless of the confusion that's around you, regardless of the fear that's around you. So hopefully that helps. If you wish again to read the 12 Mastery Teachings, the Lesson of Truth, again, is on my website, LeaChapin.com. The feedback I got from Royanne when I asked her if my daily meditations were helping her, she said that they were so soothing and calming and filled with love. So that was, again, that is why I chose or was called or heard from my own soul to help other people, to bring forth these daily meditations. And yesterday in the meditation, Christ came through and said that these daily meditations had brought forth a shift of consciousness upon the planet. And he had spoken to me many, many years ago, but when I first channeled this book back in 2003, he told me that 3/4 of humanity must awaken for peace to prevail upon the planet. The time of the Great Awakening has arrived as humanity must return to a balanced state of harmonious, to be balanced and harmonious state in order for peace to prevail upon the planet. When he told me 3/4 of humanity needed to awaken back in 2003, that seemed, I don't want to say far-fetched, but it was like, that was a tall order. So yesterday when he said that 3/4 of humanity has shifted their consciousness by us holding this vibration in our daily meditations, again, I was like, this seemed, incredulous. So I put that daily meditation, those are private meditations, but if you'd like to join me, you can certainly contact me at leachapin@gmail.com, and you can become a part of those daily meditations. There is a fee for it. I'm offering a lot of my work just as a love offering, and yet I am charging for those daily meditations. Just for 30 days, I help people to transmute their energies. But I am going to put that particular meditation out on YouTube because it was so important. So we have another comment. Roseanne says, I'm very grateful, Lee, for all the work you've done to help all of us with our own ascension process and also to recognize the beautiful souls we are. Well, thank you, Roseanne. Roseanne and I reconnected recently by telephone. She's been gracious to put my weekly Mary Magdalene newsletter on one of her group sites for several years now, but we spoke on the phone and I felt like I had known an old friend. So thank you, Roseanne, for being here with us today. She's quite a delight. So thank you for your contribution and all that you're doing to help with the ascension process and to lift the planet to a higher vibration. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And so I welcome any more questions. We do have a few more minutes left. I believe we have about 10 minutes left before our show ends. It goes fast. Again, you can certainly look at my website, LeaChapin.com. You can see all the work I've done, all of my Mary Magdalene teachings. My newsletter is uploaded on my website. I do put it out on Facebook every week. You can go to my YouTube channel. You can see all of my work there on my YouTube channel. Just Google Lea Chapin YouTube. My wonderful, wonderful spiritual son, Jared, has gifted me with being able to take sacred site tours around the globe. We went to 8 countries in 2018. All that work is on my YouTube channel as well. We went to the Great Pyramid. We did some fabulous work at the Pyramid of Giza, bringing in new light codes and new energy codes upon the planet through the Great Pyramid. That was in October of 2018. And I'm sure once the travel ban is lifted, we'll be traveling around again. We do want to go to Glastonbury because I am in the process, which the process has been 2 years now, of writing a third book, which is the messages and teachings from Sarah, Jesus and Mary Magdalene's daughter. I channeled 24 channeling messages for that book, but I feel like I'm supposed to go to Glastonbury because this is where Sarah and Mary Magdalene were during Sarah's lifetime. So I'm feeling this connection to connect to Glastonbury. So we'll be filming that again and bringing that information once we go. So I'm excited about all of this to be over so that we can go to Glastonbury. We do have another comment from Lillian. The daily meditations help me bring tremendous peace and encouragement. So thank you, Lillian, for that. I hope that it's calmed your mind because I know that you're up from New Jersey, but I know that you're living in Longboat Key now, but up in New Jersey where there's a lot of energy going on up there in the New York, New Jersey area. So thank you for being safe in Florida, and thank you for bringing your comment through. Marissa has a comment. How can we help those around us who are not resonating with these messages? The greatest gift that we can bring is just be ourselves, be at peace. And when we shift our energies, as we're shifting into consciousness, as we're becoming lighter and lighter on our vibration, then our energy is contagious. People can feel our love. People can feel our energy. I have people tell me that. I'm sure that that's the case, but I don't necessarily feel like I'm peaceful, but people tell me that they feel peace around me, they feel comfort around me. When I do channel in particular, I do feel a loving energy because I'm in that higher vibration. So since I've been channeling for 27 years, I hope it's rubbed off on me. So, as I say, that I've got some of the vibes from all the amazing masters that I've worked with through the years. So Marissa is just about raising your frequency as you're moving into that ascension. And then we're just holding that space of love in our auric field, and then people can feel it. Some people may not, may be repelled by it because their vibration is different. Some people may not feel it at all, and other people may be drawn to you like a moth to a flame. So that's the intention of holding peace, love, and light into your body. So thank you. That's a great question. I really like that question. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We just have a few more minutes. I'm so grateful for all of you who are on giving me messages, comments. This really helps. I love this format. I'm really, really excited because when I did my last show for 8 years, I featured other hosts, other metaphysical practitioners, and it was all about other people. And at that time, my husband always said, Lee, you're giving your power away. You need to let people know about who you are and what you do. And it was a great experience. I met a lot of people. It was really fabulous. And yet this is a new format for me so that I can showcase my work and move into the next level of that which I'm supposed to be doing. I have another question from Roseanne that says, Lee, have you done any work with Archangel Orion? I have not. So maybe we can do that. Probably not today because there's not a lot of time left for that, but I'll entice you to come back next week, and we'll do that. I'll make a note, and we'll see if I can contact that beloved archangel. Wendy Ray says, I find your voice very calming. Thank you. I'm very soft-spoken, and that is a blessing and a curse, I guess, because most times people say they can't hear me. And I tell people that the only time I ever raise my voice is if I get mad, so you don't really want to see me mad. But this is just how my voice is. So thank you for saying that. I was told by a reader many years ago that I had healing in my voice, and so I accept that, and I embrace that, because I know that the angels and the masters come through me and that their healing comes through me. So I'm so glad that you feel that. And I just wanted to say I'm plugging my book, but both of my books are in audiobook, and I just did that at the first of the year. So if you want to listen to my books through audiobook, you can listen to my calming voice. So anyhow, gotta laugh a little. Joan says, I'm so very glad I found you in your work. It's helped me so much in my ascension, love and light. Thank you, Joan. You're such a blessing. Joan, I've not met Joan, but she's been on my weekly Mary Magdalene call. She's a wonderful, wonderful asset to my class. Her energy is lovely. And all of your energies are just making me smile today. I'm so happy. Some new people are on that I'm seeing that I'm not familiar with, but I really would like feedback to me personally if you like this format, and if you have questions for the next show. I'm going to take any and all of your questions. You can email me at leachapin@gmail.com. Again, if you'd like to give me any topic about what you'd like to talk about, I'm open to it. I know the masters will bring information in. Again, I'm not doing personal readings for people individually, but I will help you to understand the higher spiritual perspective for your life and for the world at large. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Linda said, thank you, Lee. You're an inspiration, blessings and gratitude. Again, we just have a few minutes left. I want to thank you. I want to again thank Tiffany White for having me, Laura Romano for encouraging me to be your guest, for this would not have happened. Again, thank all of you for being on today. And again, my website is leachapin.com. Again, if you have a need for private readings, I work with people in increments of half an hour or an hour. Go to my website to see my cost and how to contact me. Again, or you can contact me at leachapin@gmail.com. Again, every Monday morning, you're welcome to join my Monday morning teleconference class. Is at 10 a.m. Central Time, USA. You can email me. I can give you that teleconference number. If you want to be a part of the daily meditations for your 30 days so that you can change your vibration, it's like learning any new skill, but it's also helping you, like biofeedback, to be able to reset your autonomic nervous system so that you can return to a state of peace. Contact me for that. If you want to be a part of my intuitive development classes or any other classes that I will be doing, again, go to my website, leachapin.com. You can see all of the Mary Magdalene teachings I've done for years. Go to my website, go to my YouTube channel. You'll see all the videos from the sacred sites, from when I went to Jordan to the Dead Sea. That was fun. To the activation that we did in the Great Pyramid of Giza. That was fabulous. I was in Cyprus, going to Aphrodite's Rock, in Kuwait. Where else did I go? Ireland. Oh, how exciting. So anyhow, everybody have a great week, and know that you're loved and that Spirit is always with you, and know that your inspiration, your love, your light, your energy for the world makes a difference. You are the light of the world. Be the peace that you wish to see. Be the love that you wish to see. Go in peace, my children. Go in peace. Have a great week. I'm so excited. Thank you. I am so blessed to be here with you all. Have a fabulous, fabulous day.